So we need a name for our fans, and that's kind of it, I guess.
PanDees.
The PanDees. Not PanDees. Not like panda, but PanDees.
PanDees.
Okay.
Like you're a dirty pandee, or you're like a clean.
You're a clean pandee?
Fresh press.
Fresh
Yeah.
PanDees. Oh, ganon.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, PanDees? This is the pandesoul podcast, the funniest podcast on Kumu. What's up? I am the host, The Dre Magics, along with my co-host, fictitious professor at Fict Prof and EJ Villamin at EJ Villamin.
That's me.
And today we are talking about generational gaps in Philippine culture and the Filipino diaspora, or as my titos would call it, diaspora. Actually, they wouldn't use that word. They would use that word because it's an expensive word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a T word.
Yeah.
Mahal word, diba?
Yeah.
Oh,
Diaspora.
just
A diaspora.
it's just for us,
Not them.
not them, just for us. So the generational gap, right? There are many like experiences that we have interacting with the past and the future, or like currently we're millennials, right?
Millennial.
We're millennials, right? So the level above us would be Gen X,
Like older or younger?
older.
Gen X is yes. That's it.
Gen X, and then baby boomer above that, right?
Yeah, baby boomer.
And then the one directly under us is Gen Y and Z.
Z. Yeah.
Yeah, Gen Z. Okay, so there are different ways that we've had different experiences interacting with, up and down because of our culture, right? Like there's obvious ones, like if you talk to an elder, you bless, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are your younger like family members asking for your hand for blessing yet? The monopole?
I don't know if it's being like taught, or it's like
Oh,
I haven't noticed it as much.
Yeah, same. Well, it is kind of like taught with us, but not to like your cousins, but more of just still to the elders. But I actually thought when I was growing up, it was for like your ninong and ninang. And when I was in my 20s, I became a ninong, and I was like expecting my hand to be put on their forehead.
Yeah.
Like, this disrespect.
Yeah. Sinong bata nito? I find myself saying that more and more often these days, and I hate it. Like, whose child is that? Is that belongs to you?
Who's kid? But yeah, even growing up, like I wasn't really taught that much, and a lot of like my second and third cousins, twice removed, they were all doing it to their aunties and their uncles, and I was just like, hey, what's up? Like,
I know.
all disrespectful and crap, but like it's just my personality. I'll be like, hey, what's up? And like I'll give you a hug. But this like thing, it didn't work for me when it came to like outside type of not within the core family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think my experience, I only asked for their hand right after we prayed the rosary, because my family prayed the rosary a lot, right? Like they passed out. There was a time in my life, I think it was like middle school, and we prayed the rosary every night for like 3 weeks. Like the statue of the shrine got passed around from house to house, and it was basically an excuse to have a party. I'm like, what are we praying for? And they're like, oh, we're just praying because this is life. And I'm like, yo, this is the rest of my life? You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah.
They're like, no, it's for 3 weeks. I'm like, okay, bet. But after I saw my older cousins, like, take the hand and put it to the forehead, and that's when I learned how to do it. You know what I mean? But it's also crazy because I think now, if you guys don't know, I do magic. Public speaking is my career, amongst the other things associated with magic. But I think that's how I got good at speaking in front of people, is like by constantly praying the rosary. So there's hidden skills that get built growing up Filipino, I think, that you can use later on in life, right? For example, myself, we'd be praying the rosary, and I remember, like, dude, I just wanted it to be over. So my goal was to go as fast as I could, and it was like almost disrespectful.
You
right?
were that person, dude? I'd be reading and like, oh my gosh. Oh.
Yeah. No, dude, I like memorized it. I had it down, and then like I was cutting out because it's call and response, right? So I'd be like, "How many focus? That one, Jesus, right?" And see, I still got it. And then they would do their part, but right before they would end, right, like it would be like the last 3 words. I would start already.
Nice.
I felt like at one point I didn't give them like enough time to breathe in between the thing, and I just like kept cutting them off. And then my mom she's like slow down, like your Lola's old. I'm like, all right, bet. Like I'm good. Sorry, I just want to get out of here. I want to do my time and like I want to do my 10 and like move on. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's and it's crazy because when my cousins, they would date non-Filipino guys, right? I have a set of 3 girl cousins, and they're very close in age. Like all my cousins are pretty close in age. So when we get older, we start talking shit about each other and like messing around. But they would bring in these guys who aren't Filipino, and I don't know why, because my cousins are fairly Americanized, right? Like they're all born here. They're fairly Americanized, but they would teach their boyfriends like mano po. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, that's cool.
And I'm like, I'm talking to my kuya. I'm like, why are they teaching us? Like, why are they teaching them that? Like, we don't even do that. There wasn't a prayer today. Like, what? And so, and then they would go around the room and meet all the titas and stuff. And then they would meet us. They're like, yo, what's up, bro? Like, how you doing? How you feeling? Welcome to the party. Eat whatever you want. And then they would sit down with their food, their plate. And I'm like, yo, so they tell you mano po, huh? They tell you the blessing. And they're like, yeah, it's cool. We just like put our hand. And I'm like, oh, did you do everyone or just the elders? Like, I would mess with them. I'm like, you did like, you got to do like the babies and stuff too. Did you know that? And they're like, oh, hold up. And they would get up and like mano po the friggin' baby in the locker. They'd be like, oh.
Dude.
And then my cousin comes back. She's like, you guys are dicks. I'm like, dude, don't leave them alone with us. That's your fault.
That was the first mistake,
Yeah. But yeah, so what other experiences, just culturally, that you kind of have to pick up dealing with the older generation, right? Because do you guys speak any level of Tagalog when you talk to the older generation? Even if it's like a very broken, like, I'm trying my best out here, dog, type of Tagalog?
When I was growing up, like I used to go to the Philippines every 4 years since I was 1, right? So from like 1 to 13, I was really fluent in Tagalog.
Nice.
But I was like a really, really light skinned, like white, like little kid trying to speak Tagalog. And then all of a sudden, I think I was like 14 or 13, I started to not speak it because I got so shy. So luckily with them, like in the Philippines, I'd be able to talk to them in English, and then they would like, talk back in Tagalog. And it's just like the perfect, like, there's like the unspoken rule that we're okay to talk like this. But like with my Lolo and Lola, it was pretty easy for them to understand both like Tagalog and English, and they talk to me in English sometimes, or just kiss me in Tagalog, or kiss me in Tagalog.
kiss me through the phone in Tagalog. Oh, that's sniff kiss.
Sniff kiss.
Yeah. It's like, Lola, I didn't deodorant.
So when you speak English though to your older relatives, do you code switch?
Oh hell yeah, I code switch.
Because you're not gonna go up to your yo, what's up, fam? Like,
Yeah. No, I don't go like, what's up, fam? But I'm like with a little accent, a little bit of Taglish here and there, and try to be
And
really
you
cool.
and you sing, don't you, you motherfucker?
Hell yeah, I try to sing in Tagalog.
Hello, Lola.
Tita, how are you? Can I have shampoo?
Yeah.
Can I get the
What about
coffee?
you? What about you, Vic? How is it talking to your elders? Do you respect your elders?
Yeah, it's funny. Like my mom's side, it's like we're super Americanized. And it's like they didn't teach me. They're from Cebu, so they didn't teach me Visaya or like haven't picked up Tagalog. But my grandma used to work at she was a school teacher, and then she worked at a bank, so she was like super fluent. So like always speaking like English. But actually going back to the monopo thing real quick, like that was never done in our family. But then when I picked it up from friends, and then I did it to my Lola for the first time, she was like super stoked. She's like, because I thought that my family didn't instill it because they just like tried to separate from certain like Filipino superstitions or whatever. So I thought that's why. But then when I did it to my Lola, she was like super stoked about it. But like, yeah, when it's like if I encounter other like manongs and manangs, they don't know or realize that I'm Filipino until like if I do like say some solid words, then it still takes some like convincing. But even then, they're just kind of like dismissive. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a weird. Where it's like I don't feel like obligated to engage, interact. Because like for example, my friends who are like Korean, right? If they encounter like an older Korean person, there's like this whole like dialogue of respect and acknowledgement.
Yeah.
And like I don't think. Yeah, and there's like other thing I haven't really noticed that within like intergenerational Filipinos. At least only if like you know the person. At least from my observation. I don't know. What do you guys?
Yeah, you know
like
what?
If you go to like Seafood City, it's not like going like greeting all the like manongs who are just like chilling outside.
You're just practicing. Like, Mus na po. Tagay.
Tagay. Yeah, I think if anything, our culture tries to be more modern. Right? Like there's that Tito from TikTok, the like Tito Bong, where he's like,
oh yeah,
touch my penis. That guy? You know what I'm talking about?
It's funny.
But it's kind of like that, where you walk into the party or whatever, and they're like, "Hoi, EJ, how are you?"
Oh, yeah.
You know, like it's Tito Elvis all over again.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like, what you're doing with your lifestyle now? Like, my lifestyle? What?
What a big word.
Like they be getting the words wrong, but it's like you get the sentiment, right? Like they want to feel younger. They want to connect with you because we are of that age where it's like it reminds them of a simpler time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they want to connect with us and instill their wisdom because it's like they're kind of living vicariously through us.
Yeah. I think that goes across the board too, though. Like that's kind of like why we're on TikTok too, is we want to see what the generation below us is doing, right? So it's like we're just trying to, not really give them like advice or talk to them about our experiences, but still kind of want to be there just in case we want to know what's happening.
Yeah, it's a curiosity thing, right? I mean, even Titos are on TikTok. You know what I mean? Like there's it's this idea of preservation and that like knowledge is preservation, as opposed to some other Asian cultures where it's like preservation means to take care of the future. Like they're already ahead and they're already taking care of the future. Where like kind of Filipinos are, if they're not in the present, they're like trying to take care of themselves through you know what I mean? They're looking to the future to take care of them. Which this episode turned very wildly, like, did not mean to get this serious. But it's crazy that happens, though, you know?
Right.
I kind of wish that it was the other way, we were able to like set up for the future, and
Oh, for sure.
like we'd be in so many different places, but it's just something.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it's our generation's. No, that's a lie. I think it's my responsibility in my own family. I can't put that on everyone.
Right.
I'm sorry, Ricky Bobby. Like, I think it's like, this is how I feel for myself. I think I have to jump the gap and just like make the longest jump. You know what I mean? From like starting one behind or -1 behind to +3 and be able to take care of my grandkids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So it's this wild thing of we have to cover their ass, we have to take care of ourselves, and we have to make sure the future's all right.
Right. Totally.
Yeah. Bringing it back to generational gaps.
Yeah. And
Hey,
it's like, what kind of things would you like instill in like future generations? Because it's like for example, like monopo, is that something you guys would want to instill in your children? And like have your parents, or have your kids monopo your parents? You know what I mean? To like continue that generational
DJ.
tradition.
Yeah, I would love that. I would really love that. Like not just in like traditional point, but also like I don't know. It's a good like conversation starter too. It's like, oh, dude, your kid knows how to do that, or like your kid still remembers how to do that, and then they start to like reminisce about the times where, like, oh, I used to do that with my Lola, and then like they just bring other people to a really good spot in life. At least that's just how my head kind of works. Like your experiences that are like portrayed to other people kind of like affect everyone else's memories, I guess. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. And I think the monopo never hurts anyone.
Right.
Which is dope. I think there are some customs and cultural things that are very hurtful. I definitely don't think like monopo is. I've never really seen anyone get triggered by a monopo. You know what I mean? Where it's either it's a nostalgic thing for most Filipinos. It's a respect thing. If you don't know about it, it's an educational thing. Like it's all positive because it's so deeply rooted in respect.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even like martial arts, you know how in traditional martial arts they bow, right? In Filipino martial arts, some systems they do this. They do this in the air where they go here, here, and here, and it's just like the taking of the hand, the manopo, and the giving back of the hand, right? And because it's so rooted in respect and reverence is the word, right? Reverence that doesn't hurt to pass that on. I think that's a really good. It's not like a top priority,
right?
But I think it doesn't hurt anyone.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I think one thing I want to pass on with it when it comes to like hands and stuff is asking my little cousins to pull my finger, because I always thought that was hilarious growing up, right? And I thought that was a Filipino thing too, because it's all my uncles that did it. And like when I started seeing other people do it, I'm like, oh shoot, like you guys are Filipino too? It's like, no, it's like pulling your fingers, but it's universal.
Dude, there are so many Filipino games like that, but like specifically Filipino.
Yeah.
You know, like pull my finger is not one, but
hip hip hooray!
Like, what is it?
Hip hip hooray!
Oh, I still watch that video, dude.
The TikTok guy?
Yeah. So like other things that get passed down generationally, right? Like the Pogi point system. Do you guys know that one?
Not. It's automatic.
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 Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. What values would you, or customs would you pass on to future, like relatives, like like nieces, nephews, or like even kids of your own?
Values.
Right? So like one of them, for example, was like, oh, are you going to teach them monopole?
You know what though? I feel like those ended with my parents' generation. Is that weird? Like,
no, because
they didn't pass anything down. So it's like, how do I pass anything down if I didn't get any of that?
I think you could still pass it down. Like it's still part of the overlying culture of your ethnicity.
But it's
you know
not
what I mean?
Culture.
That's
true, but
that's the thing. Like, it's not my culture if it's not like, I mean, it is my culture, but it's like if I'm not, if it's not like ingrained in me, it would feel weird. Like, it'd almost feel performative.
like
you know
it'll feel
like it doesn't feel
ingenuine.
Yeah.
Disingenuous.
Yeah, disingenuous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
So
like,
what are the things that you received that you feel like you should pass on?
Probably just the family stuff, being family oriented, pulling up for your third cousin if you have to, kind of thing.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
You would pull up for your thing. So like that's one of the things.
No, I would
I know,
though.
But like that's one of the things that like I wouldn't even pull up for one of my first cousins. You know what I mean? Where like I have one first cousin, I'm like, yo, you know you on your own, right? Like if you do some fucked up
You know what's funny though? It's like I feel like my second and third cousins, I like them a little bit more because they were so far away from me that I didn't get the chance to not like them.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I'm really close with all my cousins except for, I mean, like, I guess we hang out, but it's like, I don't like it when, you know what I mean? I'm just like, yo, yeah, I don't know. And then my third cousins are, like, basically strangers to me. Like, I don't know them. Right? But also, what toxic traits are you gonna evolve out of? Like you're like, I'm gonna cut this here at me. Like this is not gonna happen anymore.
Oh, like talking about people's appearances and like things they can't change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
The whole you're getting fat. Like oh, you look bigger. I'm like, that's not really a compliment.
You're like, oh, you're so
I feel like
dark.
you could be like, you do too.
Yeah,
thanks, you too.
Thanks, you too.
Right?
Yeah.
With that sometimes, like if someone says that, I actually do come back with that.
Oh, for real? Yeah.
It's liberating.
And then they're like,
it's like, I mean, in a very friendly way, but also awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I like there are some days though where I just want to like go for the throat on the comeback. You know what I mean? Or it's like, oh, you look bigger, and I'm like, oh, your husband has a second family. like,
oh my gosh, not the second family.
You know what I mean? Like shit like that. Like I can't. I think that's one of the things that guys, it needs to stop now. Like, don't have a second family and like make them live in the same city. You know what I mean,
bro?
I'm just saying, like, just like think, you know, like, do I need a second family? No, I don't. You know what I mean?
I mean, polygamy is like a big.
I don't think that's a value.
I mean, like, you know what I mean? It's just like a custom or like a trait that's common.
It's a commonality within Filipino culture.
Yeah.
That's wild to me.
Yeah. Or like some customs I don't understand the validity to. Right? Like bug. You know what bug is?
Yeah.
All right, so bug is this. If you have a relative or if you're like visiting a relative in like a cemetery or like a graveyard, right?
Visiting any funeral, like
any funeral or like anything that has to do with like the dead. You can't go straight home. You gotta like, because the spirits will follow you home. You gotta like swerve them and go to the mall or like Jollibee and like leave them at Jollibee.
Go to the karaoke.
You know, karaoke first?
Go anywhere.
Before you go home. Like Target, you can't you can't just go from cemetery to home. You gotta like trick the spirits or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's one custom. I'm like, oh, this is stupid.
I don't know,
Because
man.
like, imagine
Are you
what?
you're still gonna do it though. Like,
No, I'm not. You know what? I'm gonna do it just because like I don't like just going one place and then going home. Like I feel like I need to get a lot of stuff done on the way. But if there's a scenario where like I gotta get home right away, I'm not gonna like stop by 7-Eleven and leave the ghost at 7-Eleven. There's a lot of really crazy religious ones. Like I don't know why as a child I prayed that often.
Oh, you're gonna have Santo Niño.
You know what's wild though is that we didn't grow up Catholic, and so it's like we're like the only Filipinos in our like neighborhood that I have no idea how Catholic Church works. I just feel like it's too long, you know?
Oh,
and it's
look,
like
I grew up Catholic all my life, and I still think it's too long. And you know what? And there's like a certain level of cardio, like get down, sit up, stand up, kneel down. I said, dude, this is like squats. Like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get your post-workout Jesus cracker. And
you're happy.
Yeah.
You
See,
know,
what I liked
whole...
about Catholic Church is that you knew what to expect. Like, there was a routine, there was a process, everything.
Yeah.
But
in my hometown, there was one priest, and his sermons took like way too long. Like we always got out. It's funny because it's known in my city. Like if because there's one big main Filipino Catholic church in my city, right? And if like everyone knew like, oh, this guy takes forever, right? And so what me and my brother would do is we would watch the door, right? And we would see people do this, and they would do the holy water thing. They would see who's preaching. They're like, and they would just stand like, all right, we're here already. Like, I'm not going to leave and come back. Dude, look, tell me why, like, in every Filipino mom's household, they always make you do chores, but then they complain because you don't do it right.
Yeah. Now, when I first lived on my own, my mom would come over to do chores at my house.
Yeah.
I didn't do it right. And I'm like...
My mom wouldn't let me cut my nails at night.
Why?
I don't know. To this day, I still don't know. She's like, yeah, something bad's going to happen to your mom if you cut your nails at night. And I was like, is that really a reason? Or you just don't want to hear clip, 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 like at 9:30 at night?
What's going to happen to you if you cut your nails at night? I'm going to
nothing's gonna
cut
happen
my nails tonight.
I know, try it.
Yeah. A report back.
Yeah.
You're gonna get the humpack.
Yeah, so you can't sweep your floor at night because you're gonna sweep out all the luck. That's what
I think that comes from Chinese culture too. Like it came from
same thing like New Year. Don't sweep.
Don't sweep, don't clean, don't do laundry.
Don't sweep, you know just what you feeling. I don't need a ring.
Sometimes I accidentally sweep
bro.
away from the window. Is that bad?
The what?
The coins away from like the doors and the windows. Like, what's that about? Like the coins on it's like good luck and prosperity coming in through your window and through your door? Is that what?
Oh, I've never done that. Do you guys know do you guys eat noodles on your birthday?
Yeah, long noodle, long life.
Long noodle, long life.
Long noodle, long
happy waifu, happy lifeu.
I never ate noodles. Well, specifically for that.
I'm not like the biggest fan. I'm like not a noodle guy. Like if it was noodles or rice, I would always pick rice.
Oh yeah, rice.
Rice, but both. Mixture of the both.
No, but like rice, if you want to eat 1,000 of something.
Right. If you're hungry and you want 1,000, yeah, make sure.
When you bite your tongue, someone is thinking of you. That's one.
Oh yeah, that and when the spoon drops, a girl is gonna, or is it a girl or a guy that's gonna come into your life? Into your life. Oh. Yeah. My mom.
A spoon?
Yeah. If I drop a spoon and it faces down, she's like, "Oh, a girl's gonna come." And then if I drop it, and the bowl part or whatever it's called, the curved part is facing up, and she's like, "Oh, a boy's gonna come." And I'm like,
opposite of your gender.
Opposite of your gender. So is it like either utensil? Like
I don't know. I don't remember now.
Yeah.
That was
Huh.
You see freaking people like, please, Lord, please.
Please, Lord. Please, Lord.
It's like a wishing fountain. Like,
with the spoon and the fork. Just
Why is there so many utensils on the ground?
I'm lonely, man.
Wash all this.
Have to wash all this, huh? Don't use the dishwasher.
This is why we eat with our hands.
Yeah. Okay, tell me this though. And like me and Fict talked about this. Tell me why when you eat Filipino food, it tastes better when you put your leg up. You know what I'm talking about?
no, it's got to be like your right leg too, and your arms got to be on it.
Yeah, you have to rest. You have to rest your arm on your knee.
We're so nonchalant about that.
No, but food tastes better that way.
I ordered a rare steak.
You got to A/B test that. I don't know.
No, I think it.
I enjoy my meals less. I can't put my foot up on the chair next to me.
Uh-huh.
Like, it doesn't have that like crossbar.
Yep.
Dude, okay. And then if you don't have another seat, it's always like this. And they always look mad, and then they do you know.
Do y'all have those relatives who just stare, like when they're eating, like they're zoned out, and they're just
Like
holding
into
their spoon?
They stare into the abyss.
Yeah.
Abyss.
Yeah.
I'm just like, are you okay? And they're like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm fine.
It's like they're watching the universe go by.
Yeah.
Like it's a TV show.
The wildest thing is like you'll see them, they'll like unfocus their eyes, and just like one goes in.
It goes like this a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. My favorite thing is the sniff. You know what I'm talking about? They'll take a bite, they'll go like that. Like that. I just go.
Yeah, it'd be like, ain't nah. You get mad at you for not eating?
I know.
Oh, there's Muggles hair.
Dude, I love that sniff so much. And like, look, sometimes I catch myself doing it and I just start laughing at myself.
And then your rice falls out.
Yeah. You ever get like now as an adult, I never have this problem, but like when I was in middle school, I would always like get rice on my sock. I hated it. I'll get so mad.
It's just right on the floor. Step on it.
I would always get rice on my sock.
It like hardened like kolango.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this? The number of steps of staircases at home should not be divisible by 3.
Well,
What?
I've got 3 steps.
It should always
Outside
end with
my house.
oro or plata. Enchanting. I don't.
Oro on gold or silver? What?
Yeah, when chanting oro plata mata.
Oro plata. I get it.
Oh, because it's oro plata mata, and the third one is death. So if you do it, you land on death, and you do not pass go. You do not collect 200 pesos.
That's a weird one. I didn't
But
know.
how do you go from gold, silver, death?
You know,
Right?
I don't get
because
it. Gold,
you know
silver,
what?
death.
Because first place is very good, second place is okay, third place, shut up.
Fourth place, forget it.
Ganon.
Why did you even go? Why did you even go?
Forget it. Are you even trying? Kill yourself. Oh. Include money when giving wallet or bag as a gift.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
So that's why I never give my cousins like any
Yeah, I
of
don't.
that.
It's bullshit though, because like when I was, sometimes when you buy a new wallet, and it's sad when you don't have anything to put in it.
Yeah.
Like when I was in high school, I bought like my first adult wallet. I was like, oh shit, it's leather, and like there was like nothing in it. Like
I
put
used
my
all my
school-
money to buy this wallet.
For real. And I was like, I put my school ID, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm like, let's go home. Okay, so this is one that like I really want to like. As an adult, I still want to believe, but I know it's bullshit. I mean, I can't cuss on Kumu. It's not real. An itch on your palm means incoming wealth.
Oh yeah, my mom used to say that all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My aunt used to say that to me all the time too.
Yeah.
I have a cross too. Apparently that's good.
Yeah. So
Cross
like
on
every
both
time
hands, it
I do
itches
that,
on
I'm
both
like,
hands.
I hope this is real. Like, in my head, I'm like, please,
Where's
Lord
my
Jesus
money?
Christ. Yeah.
Or I think
Yo,
about
what's
like
up?
everybody who owes me money. So I'm like, oh, you collect.
And then you start calling people to collect. You go.
My reminder.
go,
I'm gonna go on and
Hey.
get that money.
Oh, I sent it.
You're like, hey, yo, Fict,
You get my memo real quick?
my palm itched, so you know what that means. It's time to pay up.
My palm
You owe me interest. You owe me interest.
It just text me.
Like,
My palm-
when you loan someone money, they're like, oh, when do you want it back? You're like, let's just wait till my hand itches, dog. Like,
I have two
Okay.
hands.
hands to the left and the right.
Close open.
Okay, close open, close open.
That is
Dude,
what we're gonna
we were at, where was I at? Oh, I was at the Kumu studio, right? And we were talking to, I think, the Philharmonic, and then some guy was like, dude, I'm gonna rap. Someone hit the beat, and the beatbox guy was like, dun, dun, dun. And I'm like, all right, I got this. I'm gonna spit some bars. And I was like, pandesoul, pen.
Yo, this dude Dre Magic.
Yeah, he's dropping bars. Batu ten, sipit mamimili.
Isa, dalawa, tatlo. Ang tatay mo, kalbo. Damn.
Ah, that's funny, dude.
Our nursery rhymes are like messed up though, bro.
I gotta look those up now. Filipino nursery rhymes.
1, 2, 3. Your dad's bald. It's like,
Yeah, that's what that is.
yep.
Ooh, 20 nursery rhymes in Tagalog for kids. I hope this
The
isn't.
first one.
I hope this isn't written by like Gen Z, because those are. I wanna know the like offensive ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Here are a few rhymes to try. Okay. Tong 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 pakit tong kitong. I don't know. What
It's
that
tong 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 pakitong kitong.
is. How do you talk about?
Bro, get it right.
Wait, no, I didn't
Sorry,
know what it was until he
sorry.
said it.
That was it.
Yeah, I never heard this before. One more time. Go ahead.
You were just like tong tong tong. It's like Cisco.
Yeah.
Tong, 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 tong.
Tong 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 pakitong kitong. Alimango
Hello.
na dagat. Malaki at masarap. It's like, yo, there's a crab at the ocean and it tastes really good and it's big. Like, that's what they're talking about.
Nice.
Oh, no. I like Bahay Kubo. I know Bahay Kubo.
Bahay Kubo's good.
Bahay Kubo. Ako ay may lobo. What is that? I had a balloon. It flew to the sky. I never saw it happen. Turns out it popped. Hold on. I don't know. I'm gonna play Is there a YouTube clip of this? Here, it goes. Ako ay may lobo, lumipad sa langit, di ko na nakita, pumutok na pala. Sayang ang pera ko, binili lang lobo, kung pagkain sana, nabusog pa ako.
What is that teaching?
Hold on, this is the
Like, don't
It's like,
translation.
don't go
Just
buy
buy
balloons
food.
if you're hungry.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
balloon is just gonna fly away. It's just
This
gonna
is the
pop.
translation. It's, I had a balloon, it flew to the
Damn,
sky,
no
I
wonder
never
we're
saw it
so
again.
messed up.
Turns out it popped. My money went to waste buying that balloon. If I had bought food, I would be full instead.
That is
Guys,
true.
This is why we can't have
Guys.
nice things. That's what's understood.
Yeah.
here it is. You ready? Pen de sarapen, de cuchillo, de almacen, how de carabao, batu. Okay, here's the translation. Pen from the sarapen, a knife from the department store. Oh, how the carabao stinks. Pinching tongs, gold and silver, blooming near the sea. skirt that's red, 3 money. This is just words. Like there's no.
Wasn't that a commercial? Like it wasn't really. I remember that being a commercial.
What's a nursery rhyme?
Yeah, or maybe they just put it in a commercial, and that's what I associate it with.
Toyota.
Toyota.
PanDees by Menin. Here's a weird one. Don't point your finger at trees at night. Our ancestors
specifically at night.
Our ancestors believe that trees have spirits. So if you mistakenly point your finger at night or at trees during the dark, you have to bite your finger to avoid a series of bad luck.
Oof.
Here's one, and this is the last one. Don't give, and this is like logically correct, right? Because it's like, don't give someone a pair of shoes or the person will walk away from you, of course, because you gave them shoes.
Right.
And they're comfortable now.
I always thought that meant if they were important to you, you're not supposed to give them shoes or else they'll leave you.
Oh, really?
Like they'll leave your life.
Yeah, my ex gave me shoes, so.
Did you walk away?
Yeah, I still have the shoes. It worked.
Nice.
You used your Cadillacan. There was like this thing where it's like, oh, if you ever have beef with someone, you should try walking a mile in their shoes. And then under it says, because you'll have their shoes and you'll be a mile away.
Wow.
Originally, we were talking about the generational gap, right? So what are the things that kind of irked you about we talked about the things that kind of irked you about the older generation, right? There's a bunch of not understanding mental health issues and all this other stuff. How about, what are the things that just piss you off about the younger Filipino generation?
I don't know. I feel like with the younger generation now, maybe this is just more of a global thing. I don't know. But in my eyes, I feel like they never went through an awkward phase where they were humbled.
Oh, where they had to glow up? They just was born glowed?
Yeah. What the heck, man? The humbling phase, where you feel like you get embarrassed and you look weird,
you mean they had a decent childhood and didn't get bullied by their parents or relatives? Maybe that's a good thing, bro.
Maybe that's it.
Is Shayne eating? She got that stare.
I'm reading the chat. Reading the chat.
Oh, okay, she said. Yeah, I'm good.
Food's gonna get cold.
Food's gonna get cold.
Guys,
yeah, I think that
it's
that
think
bugs
about,
me.
Closer to our when we were junior high school, early college. It's Filipino era where it was Filipino pride, just for the sake of Filipino and FilAm, and then kind of that what you brought up with the it's that kind of excitement about the culture, but not a direction to point it for.
There was no direct connection. Is that what you mean? You didn't know how it was really over there, right? Because we kind of grew up in this place of privilege, right? I was born there, but I grew up here, and listen, look, I'm not the richest person in the world, but I've never had to go to a well and get my own water. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've never had to be in a situation where I had to harvest water and boil it to clean it so I can drink it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure that's common in a lot of places. I'm just I'm privileged enough to not have to have that, but also I understand that it is a privilege. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna there are certain things I know I can't solve for myself. I'm not gonna go clean all the water in the Philippines. I don't have the means to do that. I'm good at what I do. I know how to make people smile sometimes, or be friends with people. You know what I mean? So it's being. That's what it is. They're not self-aware enough, right? Because they did come from this place of privilege, and good on them. They didn't have people to shit on them growing up. They didn't have bullies, or if they did, they were at school or whatever. But family and societal pressure to learn who you are and know what you basically be self-aware, right? And figure figure out how to navigate through your life and to help people within your means, right? Like, don't be Hawkeye in the Avengers. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's an alien monster coming from space and you got bow and arrow. Like, it's not going to work. Like, you can't solve the problem with an open mic. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that, like, bugs me. Anyway.
Well, I think, too, what you're touching on is that, like, they don't understand, and they meaning, like, the younger generation, it gets after us. They don't understand cultural nuances that we had to kind of navigate. Like, how to approach people is different. Like, in my work now, like, the way that I would approach maybe, like, a second generation Filipino American is not the same way I would approach, like, first generation or, like, the older generation, or even people in my generation who are, like, sort of in between.
How does that go? How would you approach? Okay, so let's say Fict was, like, the older generation. I'm going by beard length. Let's say he was the older generation, right? Like, how would you approach him? Like, let's say you had to tell him.
Though. The thing is, like, there's no relationship building.
Anong gusto mo?
What do you want?
Ha? Anong sinabi mo?
Is Father Time Filipino? What the hell's going on here? Okay, so how would you approach someone, like, directly above you? Like, the generation directly above you. Not like boomer, but like Gen X.
Gen X, so like my parents, their generation.
Yeah.
I think there's more that generation just requires a lot more relationship building and also communicating, like, what is the benefit of this, like, relationship. Because I work in news, right? And, like, we're trying to, like, tap into that older generation now. And it's like, if you're not telling them what you can do for them, they're not gonna give you the time of day. And then whereas, you know, the younger generation, for them, it feels like everything, like those open mics, or if they're writing a news story or whatever, it's like a day turn. Like, they expect things to happen and they expect people to kind of fall in line. And that that's not how it works. Like, you can't just do one thing and think that is going to, like,
they don't appreciate the build.
Yeah.
We were talking about earlier where we're kind of in this we're talking about earlier how we're in this kind of middle gap generation culturally, where the generation directly above us, like our parents' generation, they are trying to be cool. Like, they want to communicate with you on your terms, right? In the sense where, you know, like, I'm not talking about parents, but I'm talking about, like, uncle. Like, there's always that uncle that, like, I'm cool, I have a TikTok, you know, like all those guys.
I sound like Elvis, the one that's...
Oh, I love those. Tito Elvis is my favorite Filipino archetype. But they want to talk to you on your terms because they're trying to live vicariously through you, right? Because you remind them of a better time, and it's almost like you're trying to take care of those people while figuring out your stuff, but also you have to set the precedent for the future. So we're kind of in this, like, we're starting from their -1, trying to figure out our level 0, and trying to get ahead +1 for the other team, or for the younger generation, right? And I think that's, like, a really weird spot to be in, because on top of being part of this, like, diaspora and trying to figure out existing in two worlds at the same time, you know, and trying to figure out where you are culturally, you have to deal with where they're at in American culture and where the future is at in Filipino, or, like, you know, your ethnic culture. And I'm just like, dog, that's why I don't care about a lot of stuff, man, because it's too much stuff, you know? I think in my parents' era, like, they had to escape war. And that's wild too, right? Because, like, some other cultures escape war to get to America, and they still had to raise kids, and they kind of fucked up their kids. And now their kids are crazy.
I feel like I have a, like, sort of weird experience because my dad partly grew up here, right? And then my mom, she's the one that's, like, fresh here, and so she's the one that brought more of that Filipino culture. And so they were always like trying to meet in the middle, and then I was sort of like I always vibed with my dad because my dad was the American one, and then like me and my mom would always be like fighting because she didn't get how we were growing up.
How we
were. Yeah, how we were growing up. So
you ethnic.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think I don't really envy like having to go through what my dad went through, because I feel like, you know, he had to do that so I could like, he walked so I could run, basically. Yeah.
Well,
Okay, so like here's the thing too, right? Like,
didn't have the disadvantage of
I'd rather live in an era of technology than live in an era of war. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, listen, I think every generation has their like master disaster, right? Master disaster.
we got 4.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like,
got like 4.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. But like, also, our biggest one was obviously COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
COVID and racism.
Wars.
Like, those are our big things.
COVID
right?
and racism.
Racism's
Yes.
always
Yeah,
been,
Yeah, the normal thing.
Yeah, racism has always been there. But
Terrorism.
like, I'd rather. But look, if we are like, stay inside and get 3 shots. That's our thing, right? Stay inside, get 3 shots. Theirs is like, hey, you're forced into war, and you're like 90% you're gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's. I think we have the better end of the deal, like, personally.
This is true.
And like, freedom of speech. Oh my God! You know how many shit?
Yeah.
You know how much shit I say that like I would have been killed for already. A lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
You know.
I figure.
It's a lot. Yeah, and this is me toning it down. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
just the idea that you can get killed for a thought that you had that like comes out of your mouth is so wild to me, because I've always lived under the privilege of freedom of speech, as long as you know, and like being in journalism, that's like kind of your bag, right? I
don't know. I don't think I envy. So first of all, my mom grew up in like the Ilocos region, and she was not, she was not part of that like majority. So yeah, I don't think I would have been able to like thrive in her generation, honestly.
Sure.
And I think too, I mean, technology, it's one thing, but every generation has their means of getting information, right? So that means every generation has the same sort of, I want to say the same, but like they have those similar chances of like being oppressed. So, and we're sort of seeing that happen now. If you think about it, history is a cycle and it repeats itself. So,
for sure. All right, wrapping up with one last thing. We're talking about generational gaps, right? Getting away from generational gaps and like moving into cultural, because I think when we're talking about generational gaps, the first thing that comes to mind for myself is it's education through experience. You know what I mean? So if we're not thinking generational, we're thinking like lateral, I guess. So if your friends, what would you teach your friends about, if you could share one thing about your culture to your friends who are non-Filipino, what would you share with them? Like what piece of your culture would you be like, hey, this is a really cool thing. I want you to know this forever.
It's better when your foot's up.
I was gonna say that shit, dude. Your boot tastes. Could you imagine some Italian guy playing with spaghetti?
He's like, this slaps, dude. Thanks, Byron.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I think for me it would be the hospitality, because I feel like
Oh yeah.
You know, you have your non-Filipino friends who don't know how to. I mean, because you know, we go out of our way to make people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And we kind of just want that to be reciprocated sometimes.
Right.
Susan.
Totally. Yeah.
Are you speaking from experience, Shayne?
Yes, 100%. It's like,
yo, there's three things you can always count on from Filipino moms: not apologizing for anything, offering you food, and keeping track of their Tupperware. Like all the time, they're like, yo, make sure you get my thing back, huh?
give me back my Pyrex.
Yeah, your Pyrex.
Yeah.
It's the one with the blue lid.
Oh yeah, my mom's like that too. You know the click clack. You still have that.
That's me.
The
My
four
mom
sides?
lost all her Tupperware,
Yeah,
like
the
going to
four
work and
sides.
doing food for people.
Yeah.
I was like, Mom, you need to have them buy Tupperware for us because we don't have any.
No, you know what's next level though is like sometimes like I'll see my titas and they have to go boxes now at their parties because they don't want their Tupperware stolen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They'll go to like Smart and Final and they'll get like a 300 pack. Like it's so tall it has to sit on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't go in the fridge.
Yeah. What about you, EJ?
Man, something that I could share. It's hard because like every person's Filipino culture is different. But like I was very like close with my family, right? So like that's what I want to share. It's like there's always it's like a free person to hang out with if you have like a sibling.
Yeah.
And like like you definitely will have like your I guess your things that you guys don't agree on and stuff like that. But like,
of course,
I don't know. That was just part of my culture. It was like being really close with my family and my sister and mom and dad. Like we always went on trips, and I was like, it was weird, right? Like I'd go on trips, and then my sister brought this up. She's like, yeah, like mom, dad, like we're the weird ones. We're the ones that are going on trips together. Like my friends don't do this with our families.
No,
whether they're Filipino or not. And I'm like, man, I grew up with this. Like this is normal to me. So it's weird. But I would share that.
That's dope. Yeah. I think like one of the major things I like and would want to pass on, especially to like my white friends, is like
specifically
kind of because this culture isn't prevalent in their culture or it's culture. But the idea of like if you're really close with someone, you're gonna like crack jokes at them and like not get butthurt about it. You know what I mean? Like our one of our love like expressions is like talking smack about people and receiving it. You know, not the tita generation, definitely not. But like I think our generation,
that kind of okay.
No, it's like you shoot back at your friend and then they'll shoot back at you, and now you both are laughing at each other, but you're laughing together.
Thanks for joining us, PanDees. You've been watching and listening to the pandesoul podcast. Make sure you follow all of us. Listen to us on the Spotify, on the YouTube. And don't forget your baon and put your leg up when you eat.